Right, what was it, 2nd of April? So sort of getting into the spring season now, and I have to admit I went back. The beauty of having a YouTube channel is, it's nice to share your experiences with other people, and vice versa. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I do learn a lot, and that's what I find it very interesting, just in different parts of the country, different parts of the world, how people garden and what plants they use. But yeah, going back to the point, so I went back to this time last year on my channel, not because I like the sound of my own voice or I'm a narcissist and watch my own videos, but what I do is I tend to, the whole point of me doing a video channel was half of it was to look back and see what worked, what didn't work, and see how things were performing at certain times of year. So yeah, we went back to this time last year, and I'm looking at the garden now, and we're a good 3 weeks behind, I'd say, to what we were last year. Last year we had a really quite sunny, mild spring and everything, and obviously we had the mild winter as well, and that was a world away from what we had this winter, obviously. And we've just, this spring seems to sort of start stop. We have a sort of mild few days, and we have a couple of dips, and it's cool again, and then we ain't really had that much sun either. I mean, things are growing, but we're like I say, I'd say at least 3 weeks behind what I'd expect, and a little bit depressing looking back last year. Again, just the fact that was such a mild winter, and all the plants looked a lot happier than they do this year. But again, every year's different. That's part of gardening, different plants perform differently in different conditions, blah blah blah. But yeah, so just really just to encourage people, really, even if you obviously doing a YouTube channel's not for everyone, but even if you just take a photo of how your garden looks, every couple of weeks or something, just to look back on and think what's worked and what done well over winter. And also just the fact that sometimes you forget where you put plants, and I do this a lot. I mean, I totally forgot about this Brunnera, which I've had for a few years, and it's always nice in summer, but obviously it dies down in winter, and just little things like that, it comes back up and you say, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So yeah, just keeping a log really of what you've got, and again, you can look back at it, you can think, well, certain things seem to perform better over winter than others, and you can tailor your plant choices to that. And I'll use this as an example. This is quite an interesting one, this camouflage fats here. So we can see we've got a dead patch on the main stem, and that actually died off not the winter we just had, but the winter previous to that, which was mild, and yet that top 3 inches of growth totally died. And this winter, with a lot harsher, a lot colder, long freezes, and yet it's not really taken any damage at all from that. I mean, other than, like I say, the previous winter where that died off, which is weird because that was a lot milder. But this year, or this winter just gone, seems to be a lot better. So whether it's just got that little bit more size to it and got a little bit more hard or whatnot, I don't know. But obviously where it died off previously, that's sort of shot out 3 side shoots, and they've been fine over winter, took minimal damage. So yeah, little things like that you notice and you think, well, it doesn't really make sense. Mild winter, you lose 3 inches of growth. Really harsh winter, untouched. But again, I mean, what is that down to? Is it down to purely temperature, humidity, dampness? You know, some things you really struggle to explain. But anyway, so again, it's worth keeping a note on certain plants, and just really just sort of generally summarising that that's a good idea to keep a track of what performs well and where everything is. Really keep a record, if you like I say, even if it's just literally just a photo every 2 or 3 weeks of a certain area to see how it looks, and you know, to see if you do want to change any plants out. And yeah, I mean, for me that was a storage issue. I mean, I've always watched a lot of YouTube videos. I enjoy them. You learn a lot from them. I thought, well, someone might be interested in what I'm doing, and for me, that was the whole point of doing a channel. Was really for myself, in a way, to excuse a plane going overhead. That's for myself, really just to look back on and think what worked, what didn't work, what can I improve on, you know, what plants have I fallen out of love with, what plants are on my list to try, this, that and the other. And I'm always going to push my luck and try different plants, but you know, you're going to lose a few along the way. But at the end of the day, it's all about experimenting. I think it'd be a very boring world if everyone just had straightforward tropical style gardens with exactly the same plants. So I do like to try something different, and I'm not saying everything's got to be a super rare, hard to get, expensive plant. It's not about that. It's about, you know, do I want a garden just full of Trachycarpus, or do I want which is nothing wrong with that. I mean, some people like the uniform look and have you know, repeated plant, and that is part of garden, to sort of tie everything in. But for me, I'd much rather see a lot more variety rather than just sort of 3 or 4 different species. I'd like to go and try, and like I say, you're going to lose plants along the way. I don't tend to get too hung up on plants. I mean, we've had a lot of damage this year with the winter, as we can see with this superstar cordline. There's a lot of damage, and last year that's pretty much untouched. This year looks pretty dead, but I'm pretty confident that's gonna come back. It's still pretty solid, the trunk, so whether that branches out, or we'll see on that one. I mean, it's still, again, this spring has been a bit disappointing when it comes to really sort of daylight. I mean, the temperatures haven't been too bad, but it's not really had, you know, real good sun. I mean, it's sunny today, but it's a bit cooler. But anyway, I'm not going to keep going on, so we'll leave it there. Yeah, thanks for watching.